Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about this Biorxiv paper. Swelling motion of breast cancer cell rapidly aligns collagen fibers to enable collective invasion. So please raise your hand if you read this paper before. Okay, good. So yeah, as you know, this paper is online published by Ovijit Chaudhuri group, who is one of the most like well-known mechanobiologists in Stanford. So actually, this is a quite brand new concept. So let's see one by one. So actually, I scheduled to present this one like 2 days, but I think we can finish this one on today. So let's see one by one. So they are targeting breast cancer cell. Okay, this is the breast. This is the cancer. So when they look at the breast cancer, they found out some when cancer is stable in that breast site, they are maintaining by basement membrane quite well. And then when they look at the collagen fiber right below the basement membrane, you can see they are like random structure. But when this breast cancer cell, they start metastasis, and then suddenly they remove the basement membrane, no green thing, and then they found out the collagen fiber, they are aligned like this. This is called here radical. So radial. So whole is paper, and the dimension of the radial means that this is radial, round shape, and then this is radial, and then tangential. Tangential is this. This is tangential, right? So they found out the radially aligned collagen fiber was detected in this kind of breast cancer cell when they are doing metastasis. So this is their major start, why they start this experiment. And then, as you can expect, they measure the mechanical property of plastic tissue and then IBC tissue. IBC tissue is like one of the type of breast cancer cell, in situ breast cancer. They found out maybe this is coming from same patient but different site, healthy site and IBC site. They found out this Young's modulus using the instrument, they found out their IBC has increased stiffness. But you can see, depending on the patient, some patient have 500 Pascal, some patient has 3 kilopascal. But not all, but they can find this tendency. Somehow they increase, like someone more than 2 or 3 times, or sometimes 10 times like that. Okay. So this is a very strong way to show your, if you want to say something about, okay, I'm targeting certain stiffened tissue, but you want to ask something, you want to say something, this is really stiffened than healthy tissue, that is a normal way how people do. Okay. And then when you do the statistic, you have to do parity test. Okay. Parity test means that they're pairing. This healthy, this diet is paired from the one patient. So this is a very strong way to show some tissue has higher stiffness than others. Okay, you have to remember that. And here, very interestingly, not only they measure the stiffness, they measure the indentation to calculate the mechanical plasticity. Actually, this is a first report to mention about this thing. So already you guys know about the stress relaxation, right? So we are going to know that stiffness, we just imagine stress relaxation. When you push some tissue, like certain strain, like 30% compression, and then you stay there, and then this compressed tissue, they resist the force. But over time, this resistance is going down. This is the meaning of the stress relaxation. But to measure like permanent change, formation, deformation, here they measure the mechanical plasticity. Actually, this is like, let's try to imagine that. They are indenting, they're pushing the tissue 2 times. First time push, and then they set 1 micrometer per seconds, something like that. Yeah. And then maybe 10 micrometer center, 10 micrometer per second or 1 micrometer per second. Anyhow, they push the tissue up to 1 millimeter depth. Well, they will take like 60 minutes or yeah, some very long time. So this they're pushing first. And then they release. And then after 1 hour later, they push again. Okay? And then when they push again. Sorry, yeah, this is a push. This from the zero, and then they push, and then they release. After 1 hour later, they push again, compress again. They found that from initial, this first one, and then 25% of the force from the maximum at 1 millimeter push. This is the dot, and then they want to know what is the difference between this first one and second one at this 25% of initial high peak. This depth, and then this depth, let's say this is like 0.6, and then even though they are pushing the same force, this depth is coming to 0.8, and then they divide it by this total 1 millimeter, and then this is coming to 0.2 from this graph. So this is the meaning of mechanical plasticity. Plasticity, when you think about the plastic, actually elastic plastic, quite opposite concept. Elastic is when you push, and then when you push back, and then the more deformed morphology, they're coming to the original structure. Plastic means that when you push it, and then there are certain permanent deformation. This means the plasticity. So in Korean, we are saying this is a plastic like bottle. This is not elastic bottle. Plastic bottle means that they are deformable, easily deformable, and then they are not coming back to original state. So to measure the permanent plasticity, they are checking this mechanical plasticity, and then again from this same thing, healthy and IBC. IBC one, cancer one, they have more mechanical plasticity. What does it mean? Means that okay, you imagine you push your skin, and then push and push back, and then you can see some like elastic, right? Oh, they have some tension. Let's imagine you are old skin, like when you mean like grandpa, grandma. When you push their skin, probably you can feel, oh, this is not very tensional, right? Somehow they are they are pushing. We cannot say that this is coming from stiffness or coming from what, but in that way they can measure. Oh, their mechanical deformation, permanent deformation from your push, that can happen long time. Okay, it's not going back to normal. Yeah. So this is the meaning of the mechanical plasticity. I just said this is a first report in this paper regarding the tissue. So I think probably this paper could be published in Nature Material over that. Yeah. And then for mimicking uh, this kind of structure of the tissue, they are making this arginate collagen combination hydrogel. But here, actually in iTunes also, we are using this arginate collagen hydrogel to mimic this kind of different stiffness. But here, one thing is that they add the RGD structure in arginate. Here, the red one is RGD. Why? Collagen fiber, they already have many RGD. They can give cell adhesive binding modality, right? But here they want to have more cell adhesive property. So that's why they are adding the RGD to arginate. And then from the cell point of view, cell can fill and pull and push arginate and collagen fiber, both of them at the same time. And then this kind of structure can be easily gelled by calcium ion. This is very well known. When arginate can meet calcium ion, they can be gelled. When you go dental hospital, dental clinic, you can feel some. You are remember about the impressions, right? They're injecting some gel in your mouth that they print your mouth. blue and green, that they see how they are uniformly mixed. As you can see, collagen 1 is not very randomly uniform. I mean, they have their own fiber structure like this. And then low plasticity, and then they are making two different gel. Low plasticity to mimic our healthy condition, high plasticity to mimic the uh, cancer condition. And then they are, even though they are using like very actually I try to find which kind of composition they use, what is their uh, calcium, arginine, or collagen fiber component, but I cannot find in detail. So maybe I'm missing something from here. Probably they are giving us some like table, but maybe if you guys have this kind of table, just let me know. But technically, they have to make very similar composition, but only changing like very few percentage or very small amount of calcium ion or some other component. But anyhow, here they want to mimic this healthy and cancer condition. Their matrix three different Young's modulus stiffness 0.5 kilopascal, 1 kilopascal, 3 kilopascal, and then they are making two different plasticity, low and high plasticity. So total, they're making six different hydrogel. Okay, as you can imagine, probably this low plasticity, low stiffness, this is more mimicking healthy. High stiffness and high plasticity, they are mimicking more cancer condition, right? So, so what for screening purpose, they are making the six different hydrogel, and then again, they are showing this LP and HP around this area. Probably this is coming from high stiffness, 3 kilopascal. So LP is around zero point 0.2, HP around 0.3 or zero point 0.4. This is quite mimicking this patient tissue. Okay. And then they also measure the from the cancer tissue, ecadrin on collagen, their length and width. So ecadrin is uh, cell-to-cell interaction, and the collagen one is their surrounding ECM. So when you look at it, and then this ecadrin is coming from the cancer, collagen is their surrounding matrix. So when you can see this length, LP, HP, IBC. IBC is positive control from the patient sample, right? So we want to mimic this IBC. And then what is the fiber length, collagen length, and collagen width? So compared to LP and HP, here, uh, these two, HP, IBC, they are, we can see they're very similar. This all can be similar in terms of fiber length, but here fiber width is a little different, yeah, from LPIP compared to IBC. But anyhow, but we can say that we can, if we 100% mimic this IBC, it's perfect. Sometimes it's not needed to do like that. But anyhow, you show we are very similar tendency. Fiber length, 6 micrometer, fiber width from 1.0 and 2.0, something like that. So they all say that they are mimicking, they are making the hydrogel to mimic this IBC structure. Then what is the next step? Probably they're culturing the cell, right? So and then I want you to note this kind of tendency, like this one line. This gel mimic IBC relevant mechanical stiffness, plasticity, and collagen fiber geometry. This is a very key step to describe whole things, right? So if you want to make a figure, you have to think about what is the key one sentence to describe your whole idea. And then from upper and down, they literally have different contexts. That is why they are making one other line. Interplay of stiffness and plasticity in controlling single and collective division of this M-shaped breast cancer cell. And then you can imagine, oh, they are making single and collective invasion. Single means when you culture one cell, this is a single cell invasion. Collective means that when you culture like several cells, like 10 or 12 cells at the same time, this is called collective invasion. So they culture six different condition gel, stiffness dependent, plasticity dependent. As I mentioned, this LPN 0.6 kilopascal is more mimicking normal tissue. Then this 3 kilopascal high plasticity, they're mimicking um, illness, cancer tissue. Here, regardless of stiffness, LP, they can maintain their spherical shape, right? But in high plasticity, regardless stiffness, they are making like little metastatic phenomenon like this nanoapilapodia. This is the meaning of they are trying to go somewhere, right? But not only this they're from multiple cell collective invasion. This single cell invasion is their dispersal cell in the gel single and they check. So compared to this has more like spreading or spread out Philadelphia. You can see that. So this from the single cell level, you can see single invasion from high plasticity hydrogel. Okay, and then after showing the images, definitely we have to quantify it. Okay, the number of collectively invasive strands. So how many like strands? Strands means that this is called strands. One strand, two strands, something like that. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So you have to when you do quantification, you need some criteria. When you want to say strands, maybe n is zero point 0.1 micrometer width, and then 1 micrometer length, I will say strand. Okay, like that. You have to make your own criteria to count it. So anyhow, this compared to LP, HP has higher number of strands, invasive strands. Okay, and then from the and the number of single cells per spheroid. So this is they're culturing like 1 day probably, and then their count cell number. So this cell number is higher in low stiffness compared to high stiffness. Even though they try to make this spheroid structure from very few cells, and then this 3 kilopascal, they are confined. They do not allow the cell proliferate a lot. So that's why they have this very few cell. But from the low stiffness, you can see high number of cells because they have different stiffness here. And then strand width. Strand width that spreading spread out cancer cell spread width is around 25.6, 1.2. This one, IB is also around 25 or 50. So they can say that from their hydrogen platform, they can mimic this IBC strand width. And then this phenomenon. And then in IBC relevant stiffness, called like 3 kilopascal, cells in adhesion are essential for the BC cells. So when you culturing cell in spherical structure, probably they can have two things. One is cell ischium interaction. The other one is cell-cell interaction. Here, they want to say this cell-cell adhesion is quite important, or cell ischium adhesion is quite important for making this kind of sprouting from the spheroid. So for answering that, they are treating this ecadrin knockdown from the shRNA, and then P120 knockdown. This is another key protein for cell-to-cell interaction. When they are doing knockdown, these two cell-cell interaction related protein, strand length is quite going down. Length is how far they are spreading out. And then not only this M-shape 1080 cell, but also another breast cancer cell line. Here, MDF MD231, this ecadrin minus is that this called that this is a very special line to knock out. Knockdown is their depressing protein level. Knockout is their gone, zero. Ecadrin they come to be zero, and then they again reinforce externally at the ecadrin from the outside. It's called ecadrin positive. And then they found strand length could be covered by the Chaudhuri. So which is the meaning of the strand length? Somehow they're uh, quite importantly controlled by the cell-to-cell interaction, right? We can say that. Not only strand length, strand width also, right? Width is going down, they are recovered. So as I said, always you have to see, you can see the some cell change from your condition, and then you have to make own criteria and then make the quantification. Okay, this is a natural way to describe your thing. It's not. It's not. Sometimes people just show the images, or people do not like that. You have to try to quantify. Okay, and then there's summary. Healthy tissue, IBC, in situ breast cancer tissue. So this is low stiffness and this is high stiffness. So from the high stiffness and higher plasticity, cell deviation dependent collective invasion only. But here, low stiffness, low mechanical processing, single and collective invasion. Mm. So you can have this kind of schematic image summary. And then next step is, right, in this high plasticity gel, cell radially align collagen 1 at the spheroid matrix interface prior to multicellular invasion. Previous figure 1, what is about that? First, they are making the, and first they are reporting some mechanical property of the breast and healthy tissue, right? Cancer healthy tissue. To mimic them, they are making a gel, and then to approve, this gel have very similar uh, biological or cellular behavior compared to breast cancer tissue, right? So they're making this one. And then they want to know why the mechanism. Because first question is about they found out the cancer cell and they are losing the basal membrane, the red green color, right? Green color, they are showing this collagen fiber is radially aligned, right? These are their findings. So to know why this happened, yeah, this is like cause or this like result. They want to say like that. So for answering that, they're making this gel and then they confirm this thing, collagen one fiber radially aligned thing can be observed from your gel to mimic the breast cancer tissue. Here, they culture the cell 1 to 5 days and then not low plasticity, high plasticity, you can see this kind of strand sprouting. And then when they dye the arginate from special fluorescence, and then they measure how they are collectively aligned, how they're deformed. Arginate, you can see, oh, arginate is surrounding here. What is the meaning of this? Cell are capturing the arginate. Okay. From day one, very like dim color. Day 3 and day 5, very dense here. What's the meaning of this? The cell, they try to like push and pull this arginate surrounding arginate, right? So that's why arginate condensation, arginate is highly condensed around this area, which means they are gathering this arginate. And then they look at the collagen. This is like random, you can see that. But here you can see they start to align this collagen fiber, right? Oh, it's quite good phenomenon. And then I said you always have to try quantification. Tangential means this tangential, this spheroid, this, and then this is tangential, blue color. Red color, this line from the center to outside is radial. Depending on their incline, that you can measure this radial or tangential. And then from this segment fiber from this collagen images, they color them red or blue. So 0.5, below 0.5 tangential, above 0.5 radial. And then you can clearly see that this radial is more detected. Maybe this is like half and half. Definitely there should be half and half, right? Random. but they come to be more come to be have more red color, radial. This is the one way. Sometimes this is collagen one fiber imaging, but as I said, you always have to try to quantify it. This is a very clever way to do that. And then their alignment index, probably this all like fiber is coming here. And then you can see they have a lot of variation, but anyhow, statistically, LP don't have any statistical difference, but HP, they are quite different, especially 3 and 5 days. Okay. Again, they try to highlight cell-cell interaction, right? But actually, when I go back to supplementary, actually, they didn't check the cell-ECM interaction. But, but I think that from the process, maybe people can ask, okay, you're highlighting cells interaction, and then please try to knock down the cells interaction using like siRNA target to integrin or mm, some other thing, some other way, or FAK inhibitor. But I think that this cell interaction, both of them should be important for regulating this one. But originally, people always mention about the cell-ECM interaction is important. So that's why here they are mentioning about the cell-to-cell interaction because they highlight the multiple cell, collective cell invasion. Okay. So they also target E-cadherin knockdown, P120 can knockdown spheroids show decreased radial alignment index. We can easily imagine that, right? This is like E-cadherin knockdown, these images, P120 knockdown, these images compared to control group, which has higher stiffness and higher plasticity, they are going down, radial alignment. Oh, cell-cell interaction is very important. Next one is includes collagen 1 fibrosity and radial alignment in IBIS panels compared to normal and DCIS region in human histology. So actually previously figure one, they only talking about, they found this tendency, right? And then they want to uh, lead us to have a question at the same time. And then, but here, they want to show us the real data from the human tissue panel. Yeah. Actually, you guys are not familiar about the panel. What is that? Human histology panel. So maybe best way is, okay, we have a lot of patients, we are a medical doctor about breast cancer cell. And then you can collect many patient sample, right? But you take like 2 or 3 months or 1 year sometime if you want to collect very many like tissue. But if you go to like special company, which is called, I'm gonna share with that histology, some company they have in America, right? But they already have the panel which consisting of like 100 patients. For 100 patient, 10 is healthy, 9 is from different kind of cancer. So you can collect breast cancer panel, like oral cancer panel, skin cancer panel. There are a lot of panel with them, like 1,000 panel. So you actually checking that kind of panel, you can order, you can buy them. And then once like as a dot, this kind of dot, they have 100 dot over there. If you stay in one time, you can screen out everything. This is like how the people do the investigation in each way. So probably this one, they are using this kind of panel. And then the panel, they also classify the cancer in certain subtype. Here, IBC, and the DCIS. So normal DCIS, IBC. What's their main difference? So DCIS, relatively, they are maintaining, sorry, right? They are maintaining basal membrane a lot. So which means that, so as I showed before, so after saying this, I will go back to normal. So normal is normal. This is like cancer, but somehow basal membrane surrounding this cancer, they're quite intact. But IBC is this basal membrane, they are lost. They come to be lost. This is IBC. So, and then they check this collagen 1 fiber alignment from the same manner, tangenter and radicular. They found out IBC has more radial. Radial means this, yeah, sprouting aligned. When you look at this is percent. So when you look at the tissue, this is aligned, right? But this is a little aligned, but there's more blue compared to this anyhow. This is more aligned. Where this is like representative images for saying collagen 1 is quite aligned here. I will show you later why it's going to happen. But the thing is that when you say TCIS, they have intact, perfect gauge membrane here. But when they call IBC, they do not lost all of the basal membrane. Probably this area they lost, so that is why they have more aligned here. But when they lost the basal membrane all over there, all of the sides should be aligned like this. But so this is the way how they should describe it. So here, let's go back to normal. Figure 1. This upper one is TCIS. They have cancer, but they didn't start metastasis. Okay, it's because basal membrane is intact. But once, actually the perfect condition is that this green thing is coming here, only this side they lost. And then this cancer cell, they could be metastatic. Okay, this thing is from this patient sample. Okay, so you have to learn. You don't need to show the real data in figure 1 to raise a good question. But anyhow, some other figure, you have to show the real data from the patient or from something. So nowadays, the high impact factor journal, you have to make very good question, and then you have to make the reviewer or reader to understand this paper very well. That is why they're making a lot of like schematic images or new concept. So I always tell my students or all of you guys, so you are very expert in this experiment. But when you other people they read your paper, what do they feel? They don't have any knowledge about the mechanobiology, like skin or some other things. So you have to make them very easily. Like high school student, from high school student point of view, when they understand your paper from your figure legend, and then you are successful. But if you make it very difficult, reviewer also they feel it's really difficult, they reject it because they don't have much time, and then they don't want to input a lot of effort to understand this, right? Because they don't get any credit when they review the paper. The only thing they want to do that they want to find some new finding, and then scientifically is a good like sound. It sounds well, or it is a little bad. They want to just like this. But if you make your paper very hardly, not friendly, and then why those guys try to look at your paper? Just reject it. Oh, it's aligned. It looks quite well, but I can understand. Reject. Okay. So this is why this images is very important. Always you try to make some good this kind of schematic images and a good display. So when you have some time to have a discussion with professor, they always say, okay, this result is good. Try to find another way to describe it. What is the best way? But you feel like, oh, why do this guy always push me to make another figure like that? This is the reason. Maybe if you're making this thing not beautiful and then just black dot paragraphs like that, it's not beautiful. Like, and then we don't like this. You have to decorate your data in a good way. Make it some meaningful color, meaningful schematic images. Okay, figure 3. And then now they're checking at this moment swelling motion. You know the meaning of swelling? This is swelling. Swelling like move like around this. So they track the cell from day 1 and day 5. When you look at this red one, here, they are moving unclockwise, right? When you look at this blue, here, they're moving to, this is also moving to unclockwise, like this. But when you look at this cell also, here they're moving here, but this is like more clockwise, right? Also this blue is clockwise. And when you day 5, oh, here also, this track, they're going a little clockwise. This red one is clockwise. This one is also clockwise. Anyway, they want to say that cell is moving over time. Well, how they move? They are circling. Circling. So maybe I think after checking their like similar phenomenon in high plasticity tissue, high plasticity hydrogel in the in your in vitro condition, and they check the collagen one fiber line, and then definitely they want to know why, and then maybe okay, let's live track it how they move, and then they found out they are suckling. So this is their finding. They're suckling. You cannot see this kind of suckling from in vivo tissue easily. Actually, this paper they show us the last moment from in vivo, but not easy. So from the in vitro, why people are making this in vitro platform? They want to know why. But in vivo, there are a lot of things are complex. So it's not easy to say, it's easy to observe in a good way. So that is why when you're making very good great platform in vitro, and then you can see this kind of good. So here, so also show this data, and what is that? Quantification. From their image analysis, they track this one. Some cell they are stay there, especially cell inside of this spheroid, they stay there. From surrounding cell, they are circling, right? And then from the velocity of the cell movement, blue, not moving, green, they're more moving. They color it. And then from these two, this is like speed, this is like direction, and then this is like their this is their direction as well. Tangential is this is tangential. Radial is from center to outside, radial, right? So they track the average of absolute velocity of radial and tangential. Tangential is this surrounding circling cell, right? Circling cell is more, they have more speed. But radial, when they're going center to outside or little outside to far outside, they have less velocity, less speed. This tendency, always you can observe it. And then you have to ask, why this is happening? Actually, as far as I read this paper, I cannot find why this is happening. The radial is more less speed than tangential one. But here on anyhow, they can mention that, or this over time, they are continuously circling. But the circling cell, they have higher speed. This is true. Okay. And then also again, they knock down the cadherin and P on the training. So control cadherin P on the tree, this kind of tendency is off, right? So saturation insertion is important. And then these two, they have different speed. And then you can imagine one cell is going outside, they have little speed. Some cell like very like circling. It's like 50% change of speed. What does it mean? Probably, yeah, anyhow, you can feel two cells there. What? And then they should combine together. Cells interaction together, right? Because when cells interaction is gone, this is two different speed is gone, right? What does it mean? They're asking this question. And then here they show us the lab images. After confirming this in vitro study, they intraviral imaging show cell-to-cell interaction, cell-cell dependent swelling like tangential motion during collective invasion of BC cell. Okay, they are making this chamber, and then they implant the cancer spheroid in subcutaneous. It's not easy to image the breast cancer cell in the breast, right? But when actually this kind of optically observable like chamber, which is very well known. So you can implant some glass on the skin, and then from the outside you can observe. Even though you are adding the cancer cell or some cell inside of your skin, under the skin, well, you are making this kind of glass structure, and then make the punch on the skin, and then you just connect them together, and then seal them perfectly. And then at the same time, you can visualize it. It's very well known. So it's easy to see the cell movement from the breast tissue. That's why instead of that, they are using breast cancer cell spheroid, but inject to the inside of subcutaneous, which is like more biomimetic condition, right? And then they found out control and it can knock down cell. Control cell, actually the people mentioned that, oh, this is really in vivo. Actually, we cannot see this really, I mean, this condition is in vivo condition, right? But actually, in the end, we are culturing artificial cancer cell, and then we are culturing the equilibrium knockdown artificial cancer cell again. So this is like same thing, which could be observed in vitro condition. But anyhow, they try to mimic this condition more in vivo mimicking. So this is one intermediate way. You can best way is to directly visualize the cancer behavior in breast cancer. Then you have to make some equilibrium knockdown mouse or observe like this. But when you do equilibrium knockdown, probably the mouse will be dead from initial birth. And even though you are making conditional equilibrium knockdown from breast cancer cell, it takes long time, like 1 year or 2 years, because we are not the only breast cancer cell like biologists, cancer biologists, right? So we are making a lot of like different like theme or different topic. So we don't have enough time to make this kind of very special animal to prove this one. So that's why we are making that way to show this kind of tendency from the subcutaneously implanted cancer spirit. So we found out that control they have similar pattern like this, two different tangential, perpendicular, and then this is equilibrium knockdown. They're already gone. So you look at this. Actually, it's not easy to see, or maybe this 2 hour thing. Maybe 2 hour thing. Okay, blue one is more here. Yeah, and then when you look at this, when you overlay this like direction and the speed, oh, this area more, how can I say, tangential surrounding this. Mm. This is more higher direction here, and then more like green color a little bit. So like that. So as I said, from in vitro condition, you can see clearly, right? Even in we are using spheroid, and then it's easy to see the real like big difference. So that's why you have to make this kind of quantification. Mm. If you show us this one first, oh, this is very artificial. Maybe this is not 100% difference, and the people will not easily be persuaded. But they show us the in vitro first very clearly, and then this tendency is also observed in vitro, in vivo, and then okay, just do that. Mm. So sorry, so we have like 4, 5, 6 three figure, and then we can go this figure next Tuesday. Yeah, it's quite take a long time than I expect, right? Because you guys have to lose the interest if I do more. So up to now, do you have any question? Mhm.
These spots, black spots images, are they live self images or are they histological?
They're live. Yeah, they're live. So the reason why they are using like glass chamber and the implant glass chamber in the skin, they want to lively imagine that. Yeah, probably they uh transfected some like fluorescent color, yeah, and then they try to image them, right? It's not easy to optically visualize it. So probably they're using some special fluorescence and then microscope. Yeah, actually, one time I visited a certain facility in KAIST, so they're also doing this. And then skin, so you have to invert it, right? Where some microscope they can detect the fluorescence from the upper stage. So put the like animal like this, and then the image from the upper side. Or you can just turn it back when the microscope is coming from the down, inverted microscope. Okay. When tumors have invasive property. Yeah, okay. So tumor. So let's imagine you are a tumor cell. You are located in one site, and then you are making a lot of good friends. You are going to proliferate, right? And sometimes you feel like, oh, this house is very packed, and then you have to find another good place, right? This is called metastasis. They are moving their home. So your home is like breast, but breast is so dense or so packed, and then your nutrient is not enough. Your oxygen level is not enough. Okay, and I'm gonna find a way to find another good place. And then they are starting to migrate, and then they are going another tissue like bone, brain, some other way because they are more less packed, and then they have more chance to grow some other thing. So the cancer cell they always try to do this migration for metastasis, and then we call them. Maybe you heard about this. Maybe some patient have what is that? Grade 3 or 4. So when you talk about some grade 1, 2, 3, 4, as far as I remember, grade 1, 2 is depending on the how much of the tumor, and then when tumor is growing, the size. So grade 3 or 4 is that when they metastasis from this side to other side, then they are increased the grade 3 or 4, regardless of their size. So from the cancer cell point of view, when you find from the like, medical doctor point of view, when some cancer cell they are doing metastasis, which is very bad prognosis, which means they have a lot of chance to be dead for the patient, right? Okay, let's go on. Other thing next Tuesday morning.